guys? This is Mgtow here, and this video today we're going to be watching a sheriff goes against a feminist of something that Obama said when he was still president. But before the video starts, my Patreon, PayPal, and Twitter down below, you guys want to check that out. Anything does help in the long run, but without further ado, let's get into the video.
Sheriff David Clarke of the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office, and Julie Roginsky, Democratic strategist and a Fox News contributor. Great to see you both.
Good to see you, Megan.
I love when the sheriff wears his hat. Sheriff, your thoughts on the president's comments?
Well, you know, Barack Obama for 7+ years has played the race card that every time somebody criticized him, it was because he was black, and it scared off a lot of Republicans. So now they're going to switch and try to play the gender card. The problem is the American public is tired of this class warfare. The reason why they don't like Mrs. Bill Clinton is not because she's a woman. It's because she's dishonest and because she is hiding something. She's hiding the truth. She tries to play herself off as a victim, like she's Little Red Riding Hood, but she's more like the big bad wolf. As soon as you turn your back on you, she'll bite you. Now look, this is politics. It's a contact sport. It's not for the faint of heart. My response to what President Obama said is, if she can't stand the heat, she should get out of the kitchen.
Julie?
Fun fact for you guys, here we wanted to have a no-fly zone on a certain area. I forgot what area it was, but that would have meant that we would have war with that area, which people don't acknowledge, and just realize that here is a...
Well, first and foremost, I think you just proved my point, Sheriff, and you and I were outnumbered last week, and I love you, but she's not Mrs. Bill Clinton. She happens to be Hillary Rodham Clinton, who's her own person and is running as her own individual. She's a former senator. She's a Secretary of State. She's not Mrs. Bill Clinton, and I think you just encapsulated exactly why a lot of women think that
it's
she's
not
not
my job to give you her bio.
It's not her bio, but it's also not your job to assume that she's just a little woman who's married to
She has run with that name for a long time.
Well, she's run for that name because she happens to be married to the former president, but she's certainly not Mrs. Bill Clinton.
She should embrace it.
Well, no, she actually shouldn't embrace it. She should embrace the fact that she's a very accomplished lawyer in her own right, a very accomplished woman in her own right.
Let me ask you this, Julie, let me ask you this. Do you think there's something to the notion that many Americans find the idea of a female president somehow threatening? Do you think there's anything to that?
You know, unfortunately I do, and it's a shame because I think, but you have polling showing, poll after poll showing, you have Anna Greenberg, who's a very prominent pollster, saying that her numbers went up when she focused specifically on women's issues, whether it's standing by her man when she was First Lady after the Monica Lewinsky scandal, or working on traditional women's issues, or even working as Secretary of State for Barack Obama, who's a man, but her numbers are not so great when she's running for something, when she's working in healthcare reform, when she's become a principal and taken on roles that are traditionally men's roles. And I think, unfortunately, I hate to say this because as a woman who is living in the 21st century, I would hope this is not the case, but empirical data shows, unfortunately, that it is the case.
You know, Sheriff, I remember...
Fun fact for you guys, here we wanted to have a no-fly zone on a certain area. I forgot what area it was, but that would have meant that we would have war with that area, which people don't acknowledge, and just realize that Hillary is a worse president, or would have been a worse president than Donald Trump, not because she's a woman, just because of the way she acts. But that's just my opinion on all of this.
8 years ago, when Sarah Palin was on the Republican ticket, they were doing full articles about how she was going to balance her situation of having, I think, 5 kids and being vice president. It was just like, basically, for lack of a better term, screw you for writing that, right? Because nobody was wondering how Barack Obama was going to balance having 2 kids. Yep. So it's,
right,
it's,
Megan,
it's
you
still
took the
there
words
to some
out of
extent.
my mouth.
Go ahead.
When you mentioned Sarah Palin, because the way the Democrats treated Sarah Palin was nothing short of shameful. Also, the way they treated Condoleezza Rice when she was the Secretary of State, they did the same thing. So all of a sudden, when it's one of those women who gets close to the White House, then it's okay to trash them. But when it's one of their women, then they try to play the victim card. America's tired of that stuff right now. She should stand on her own 2 feet. Take the heat. Look, this is for the presidency of the United States. Nobody's going to feel sorry for her.
Right.
Nobody's going to back down. I'm glad Donald Trump's not handling her with kid gloves.
Right. Julie, that is true that there was Sarah Palin endured a lot of sexism when she was running, and the women's groups I mean, the silence was deafening. They were not there for her, you tell me, because she is a Republican.
No question, and I agree with you 100%. Sarah Palin got the short shrift in many ways.
So you understand why Republicans are like,
100%.
boo-hoo, we're not
No.
listening to your complaints now. Where were you when one of ours was being attacked?
First and foremost, some of us were there for Sarah Palin, not specifically on her policies towards women or things that we help women. But some of us did feel that Sarah Palin got incredibly short shrift, especially when you said what people were saying, how is she going to balance having children, and she had a newborn.
And put her on the cover, I think it was of Newsweek, in a photo shoot she did for a biking magazine.
Yep, but listen, I'm not sure she should have posed for that necessarily for that picture. But
come on.
But having said that, look, I mean, there's no question that if you went to the Republican convention, as all of us did, and you saw some of the buttons being handed out, and you saw some of the things that were said about her, she was called the B word, she was called the C word, she was called all sorts of names that I've never heard a man being called, and you can't say that's anything other than sexism, unfortunately.
All right, got to leave it at that. Give you the last word. Great to see you both.
Good to see you.
This is not about sexism, it's really about the parties. You know, Sarah Palin was a Republican, but she got a lot of heat. No one stood up for her. Not that many, apparently. And then now Hillary Clinton got a lot of heat and a lot of people standing up for her, which is stupid. They're all biased to Obama and all that. But if you guys did enjoy the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch all you guys later. Bye.